Hello, I want to introduce you to Fuji Xerox's Content Services solution, powered by Hyland OnBase. OnBase is a powerful digital platform that enables solutions to be designed to meet an organization's specific needs. Now, although it's a platform that enables case management, integration, and workflows, we're going to concentrate on its content management features. The ability to archive information, to retrieve documents, to secure that data, to index and classify your documents, to be able to share that information, make it accessible through a mobile device, and afford the end user ease of use. So first of all, we're going to open up into what is the Unity client, which is the main client for the solution. It's very intuitive and very easy to use, having all the basic features along the ribbon here at the top. First of all, we're going to start with the important process of being able to import documents into your system. So there's a couple of options with OnBase. First one's very straightforward. We're just going to drag and drop a document in. So we'll go to our import window here and we will pull up some documents. And what we're going to do is we've got a human resources medical record that we're going to just drag across. So it brings a document across. We'll just expand that. So we're going to classify the document. So we're going to put in that it's a human resources document. And the document type is a medical record. Now what we can put in here is a piece of unique identification. And this, in this case, being the employee ID. And what it does is it looks up into the back-end system and then brings through all the required keywords and metadata required for the storage of the document. And then with that done, we can just import the document, and that's then in our system. To look at the document, we can then just go back to Home, to retrieve. We'll choose human resources. It's a medical record and a find. And there we see, we have our document all classified. So let's close that. Now I just want to show you, we'll go to employee records and have a look there. And there isn't any documents. So what I want to show you now is the document import process, which is where we can go in and import a document by just importing a document, an image, and an index file so that it's imported, and once it's added to that watch folder, it's imported into the process. So what we'll do is we'll go into our demo files here, capture these two, and pop them into here. Then we'll go through to the OnBase client, processing into DIP. These are our particular import processes, and as you can see, one here is our employee details. Opening document import processor, and we'll process. And that's our documents gone into that folder direction. Now what we can do is set this up to run as a schedule. So rather than having to run it manually, we can just get it to run as a particular process. So let's go back in and look at our client, and we'll go back and do a search within employee records. And there's our document now that we passed through the import process. So it's just as easy you can drop in multiple documents into that location with the accompanying index file, and all your documents will flow through. Also, just going back to the home, as you can see as well, you have an import option where you can again choose your document group, your document type, and it allows you to do a browse to a document and import in the same manner. So that's some of the import options that we have. Going back into our home screen now, we'll have a look at our retrieval options. The first thing to show would be custom queries. So this allows us to be able to go in and create a custom. So if it's a particular search that we do on a regular basis, we can use a search here. So in this case, I've just created a search by employee ID and search, and that's found all the documents that are in the system using that ID. We can also then go into retrieval, and as we looked at earlier on, we can pull in human resources document, and we can go to an employee record, bring those up, bring that document up as well. And what we have here is cross-reference. So if you have a number of documents of different types within that document group, what that allows you able to do is cross-reference. And what it will do is bring up any other documents that belong to that employee ID. So it's using the employee ID as a unique identifier, and any other documents that are in that system that have that employee ID brings it up. So that can be really handy if you are if you're bringing up a particular employee and you want to see their medical records, their contract, their financial information, etc. All that information is available if they're using the same ID. Also within here is where you can manage your version control. So going into history, we'll just bring up the document. So the versions, when it was checked out, when the document was created, when it's been viewed, and if there's been any changes to the document. You also have the opportunity as well to be able to check out the document. So if you want to check out the document so that you can work on the document and nobody else can lock the document, and then be able to check the document back in once you've finished. Also as well with this particular document, if you wanted to add it to your home page, you can send it to your personal page. And then if we go back to our home here, you'll see that document now, and whether it's a search or a particular form, etc., it's all available through. Another great feature of OnBase is the integration with Microsoft, and particularly Microsoft Office, and particularly Microsoft Outlook. So this gives us the ability to be able to open Outlook. As you can see, there's an option here for OnBase and a number of different, so custom queries, retrieval that we've already looked at, things like workflows if you get to running some workflows in OnBase, and important files are all available through OnBase here. But if we want to send a new email, an attached document from within OnBase, we can. So we've got our document here and we want to attach a document. Through OnBase. Human Resources. Let's scroll down to our medical record. And we'll do a find from there. So we have our document here, and we can just now attach that document. And there we have our document, and we can send. And we also have the ability to go to an inbox. We'll pick up a document here. And we can import the attachment. And again, we'll import that into HR. And we'll go to, it's a resume. We type in the user's name, but as you can see, it's already picked up that this is the next resume ID, and it's picked up some information from the document, and then we can import that straight from Outlook into this location with all the classifications in OnBase. We can also integrate, there is also a web browser. So if we open up a web browser, it takes you straight into the OnBase client, web client. We'll just log in here. And you'll see that from this menu here, all the majority of the things that you can do from the OnBase client, you can go and retrieve documents. The custom queries, which we looked at earlier on, are all available. You can import documents, which we'll look at in a moment, indexing. You can look at your documents that checked out. You can look at workflows. You can also go in and do some administration, and there's also some dashboard reporting available through here as well. So all this information is available for you via a web front end and from any device. So what we'll do, we'll import a document. So if we've got something on a mobile device, we'll import the document. And again, we'll go to Human Resources. And we'll look for, in this case, an offer letter. And we'll type in the name of the person. So we'll browse from our system. We'll pick up an offer letter. Yeah. We'll type in the name of the person. And again, you can see it's brought up their resume ID, their address, etc. And then we can just import that document. It's telling us that we already have a version in here. So we'll save as a revision. . and that's our document. So via the web front end, or via the web site, we can actually go in and, or the web client, sorry, we can actually go in and import a document into OnBase. Again, with all the classification, the indexing, keyword information about the document, so all very easy for retrieval. Okay, so we'll come back out of the web. And we'll go along across our ribbon now again, and we will now look at some of the reporting tools that we have, the analytics. And the first one I wanted to show you was how easy it is to look at the reports. Public items, these are the ones that are shared for everybody who has access into OnBase, and then these are the ones that are just shared with myself. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at the new employee onboarding. So what you have at the top is the charts, and this is showing us how many employees were hired in June, and then the only other month where we have any data for is December. And you can, as you can see, they're color coded and gives you an indication of how many in that particular department. Going into a pie chart here, you've got the pie chart color coordinated on department. And if you see, if we go into sales, it will tell us that there's been 3 employees, 2 were sales engineers, and 1 was a sales representative. Now, if we want to go back up, we just click back up, and that takes us back to the first report. We've got a new hires here, so we've just got a listing here of all the new hires. And at the bottom, we have another chart here by new employees, and also showing the manager's name, so the manager responsible for that new employee. We have here how many are still in progress, so we can see that there's 1 at the moment, which is Jane Harper, and they are still in the process of being onboarded. And we go back to our completed, so these are all our completed new hires. As you can see as well, from positions, you can clear the board and then just say, okay, we want to look again at our sales engineers. And that will just populate the information about that particular, and we can build it up as we go by adding more into the chart. So that's all that information at your fingertips and visually available. The other one I want to show you, which is gives us a different angle on that, is this is purely a vendor management report. And again, we have a chart here, and we have our pie chart, and we have our grid, but we also have this graphic here. So this gives us that visualization via states. In this case, it's obviously states in the USA, but that can be through Australia or any other country, and divided into states, or depending upon what information we want to divide it up with by the data provider. So as you can see, if we go into look at Ohio, we can see that's all the vendor managers that we have in here, and again we get all the rundown of the different businesses, how it looks in the pie chart. But then we can change. So we go from Ohio down to Florida. We get the 2 businesses here in Florida and the information around the vendor management there, and the same in California. So as you can see, a really explicit data visualization. And a really great feature of this as well is you can look at the actual report, or the dashboard, and then if you want to see the information that's driving it behind, you can click in design. And this will start to show the information that you have. So these are all the different data providers that are sitting behind driving the dashboard. So a really good clear analytics, completely customizable as well. So very easy to be able to go back in and to change Very easy to go in and change any of the information, and very easy to create as well. So if we go into administration here, it will come through and it will show us how we can go about creating them. Basically, it's a data provider, so this will be your information coming in from OnBase, whether we're doing a query from the database or a series of keyword information, and how we create the dashboard. And we link the data provider to the dashboard, and it's the dashboard that gives us information. So we can add and remove information from the dashboard all the time by adding information into the data provider. And of course, if this is real-time information that's coming into the data provider, then your dashboard will always be at real time. To look at users and how you create users and create groups, we'll go into the configuration tool and we'll look at users. So pretty much as any hierarchy, it's very much in line with Windows. We would create our user. We can create a new user, or we can go to we can create our new user, and we would look at this Taylor here, and this is where we would create our settings, so our email address, any other logins if we're doing a single sign-on with Active Directory. And we look at the user groups that we're a member of. Then within here we would have our user groups and rights, and this is where we would go in. So if we are in the HR users group, we would be able to look at who are the members within that group, look at our privileges, so what we can do within OnBase, and our product rights. Again, what is it we're allowed to do, where we can go, what we have access to. To assign privileges or permissions at a particular document type, again, that's in the groups permission, and we pick in on that HR users and document types. You'll see here that the document group that has access into these particular document types are the users within that groups. And you can give access similarly at a document level, but probably the easiest way to administrate it is via the groups. Well, that completes this short demonstration. As we said, this is a very powerful platform, and we've only looked at the content services and its basics functions. But hopefully this has given you enough and shown you enough about Fuji Xerox's content services offerings to identify its features and benefits and how these could meet your organization's content management specific requirements moving forward.